This is honestly sickening. Hello everyone and welcome on back to another episode. Today I'm here for another editorial. I know I just made one, but I'm going to make one again because I found something that is utterly inhumane and horrible. And to be honest, there's nothing you can take this isn't a lighthearted topic. It's a serious topic, and one that I feel like we should go over. If you don't know, in 2015, the Supreme Court ruled officially that gay marriage is allowed. So you'd think that'd be the end of the whole argument. But no, it's not. This article I'm about to show you has appeared. I found it, and it was made in December of 2017. So like 2 months ago. Now, it's horrible for people. First off, the Supreme Court already ruled that gay marriage is allowed, so I don't know why people are still fighting something that already exists. But I'm here to talk today because this is, I think, a very important issue and one that I need to deal with here because, you know, last time I did an editorial, I focused on actors and actresses, and while that's kind of a, you know, like a really who cares kind of option, I also brought into the picture that it might be some kind of form of old sexism that still exists, and if it is, you know, we should probably change it. So this week I've decided to go in a similar process of deciding what the editorial should be, just with a different message behind it. So let's get into it because I don't want to delay this anymore. I want to talk about this very important issue. Calling something marriage does not make it marriage. Marriage has always been covenant between a man and a woman, which is by its nature ordered towards the procreation and education of children and the unity and well-being of the spouses. The promoters of same-sex marriage, used in quotation marks, propose something entirely different. They propose the union between two men and two women. Well, yeah, it's totally different from yeah, it's so much different. It's the same gender. Wow. Blown away. Point taken. This denies the self-evident biological, physiological differences between men and women. It also denies the specific primary purpose of marriage, the preparation and the human race and raising of children, two different things that cannot be considered the same thing. So essentially what they're saying is because gays cannot procreate, it doesn't count as marriage, which lots of people have children now when they're not even married, so that whole point doesn't matter. And secondly, not necessarily all married couples have children. There are holes in this all around. Number 2, it violates natural law. So we gotta talk about this before I even read the rest of it. What the heck does that mean? Like, natural law. Alright, let's see their points to see if it makes any sense. Marriage is not just any relationship between human beings. It is a relationship rooted in human nature and thus governed by natural law. Okay, still doesn't tell me anything. Let's go to the second paragraph. Natural law's most elementary principle is that good is be done and persuaded and evil is to be avoided. By this natural reason, man can perceive that is morally good or bad for him. Thus, we can know the end or purpose of each of his acts and how morally wrong to transfer the meanings that help him accomplish an act into the act's purpose. That was a whole lot of nothing. Seriously, any situation with which institutes the environment of purpose of the sexual act violates natural law and the objection norm of morality. It says objective law, as in like it's perceived that way, but not necessarily that way. Also, it's a norm, so that means normal, not necessarily the only way to... Okay. Whatever. Number 3. It always denies a child either a mother or a father. Now, that in itself, that statement is true. That statement is true, okay? As much as I hate to admit it, that's the only thing that I agree with, is that it does do that. However, a child does not need a mother and a father. Let's get into the thing and see my point here. It is in the child's best interest that he be raised under the influence of natural father and mother. Do you have any evidence to back this up? Because I don't see anything that I can find that makes it so that children that grow up with a mother and father are any better off. How about the single parents out there who are heterosexual? How about those people who their fathers or their mothers are abusive? You really think it's in their best interest to have both of them there? I don't think so. As long as they care and they're loving and they're supportive, then it doesn't matter who they are. This rule is confirmed by the evident difficulties faced by many children who are orphans or are raised by single parents, a relative, or a foster parent. Now, some foster kids do have trouble, but that's only because of the environment they grow up in. That doesn't mean that a single parent can't be a good parent. Is that what you're saying? Because I know multiple people who will say that is total BS. Single parents, as long, and a relative, they can raise someone right if they care and love for them. If something happens to a kid's parents and he's forced to live in foster care or with a relative, if they treat him right, then that doesn't mean that that's the reason that, certain things happen. Yeah, sure, he might not be the perfect kid, but maybe that's because of what happened to his parents, not necessarily why he was raised. The unfortunate situation of these children will be the norm for all children of same-sex marriage. A child of a same-sex marriage will always be deprived of either his natural mother or father. He will necessarily be raised by one party who has no blood relation with him. He will always be deprived of either a mother or a father role model. Same-sex marriage ignores a child's best interest. That's a lot of process here. Let's get into it. First off, like I said, the whole single parent thing, that can work, and so I'm just going to throw that out there again. Secondly, it just says in here he will necessarily be raised with at least one party having no blood relation to him. That is true, but it also can be people who are adopted or like that too. Alright? In some cases, both of the gay parents are have no blood relation to the child, and I don't think it really matters. You don't have to be blood related to somebody in order to raise them. If you're a good parent, then it doesn't matter if they're technically yours or not. There's a reason that child is with you, and that's because its biological parents either didn't want it or couldn't have it for specific reasons. So if they're here, if they're with that couple, then it doesn't matter if they're not blood related, because if they raise the child right, it doesn't matter. Also, it says that they will be deprived of a mother or a fatherhood role. That could be true, however, you could have an uncle or something for a father figure role, There are ways around that for it validates and promotes the homosexual lifestyle. No, I'm not gay. I'm reading this article because civil rights is important. No racism in the world would be fantastic, and the way it's supposed to be, but that's not going to happen. Sexism, the same. I mentioned in the video, nobody should be discriminated against just because of one specific feature of their person. That being their race, or their sex, or their gender, or their sexuality. And I strongly feel like the people who do discriminate against these people, they need to be said that they are wrong. Now, in the Bible, for Christianity, it says that they always make the argument they don't hate gay people, they just think it's a sin. Now, you can think it's a sin all you want, but that doesn't mean you can deny someone their privilege. Barack Obama, our former president, and the one who was there when the gay law marriage was passed, said that he's not for gay marriage, But when you're going to lengths to deny someone their civil rights, then he thinks it's not okay. And that's exactly what they're doing. So you can believe it's a sin all you want, but you can't, like, make other people believe that. The name of the family. Whoa! Whoa! Did they just say gay people can't have families? Oh! That's not okay! If you think it is, then you need to get your morals checked, not us. So what that just said is essentially, don't be gay. Legal recognition of same-sex marriage would necessarily obscure certain basic moral values, devalue traditional marriage, and weaken public morality. Alright, now this is where I have a problem. See, you can say gay is a sin all you want, or acting on those gay feelings like they always say is a sin, and if you believe that, then, you know, that's your religion, that's fine, but you cannot say that it is a basic human value, morality value, to not be gay. Like, you can't say that, that's not okay. And, also, how does it devalue traditional marriage in any way? It doesn't affect them at all.